Hey everybody, it's Kenny K, and I wanted to talk to you today about Terror on Tour from 1980. It's one of those. It's directed by Don Edmonds. It's one of those movies that pop up on every slasher list and is not famous but infamous to be really bad. There are not a lot of good reviewers out there giving this a good re- review, a good score. IMDb gives it about 3.8. Um, the movie essentially is about this band, uh, the four members calling themselves the Clowns. Their fans are called the Bozos. They call their fans the Bozos. Now you can easily see that it's kind of a ripoff of the band Kiss, the rock and roll band. And what they do is like they're screaming in the mic, and meanwhile they have these mannequins or rubber dummies, and they're cutting off their heads and throwing their heads in the crowd or limbs in the crowd. And why, I don't know. What that has to do with clowns, I don't know. But apparently, during these concerts or during the after parties, a killer wearing the makeup of the clowns is killing most of all the most of all women, most of all the groupies who want to have sex and drugs with rock and roll members, right? And an investigation is led by a lieutenant to track the killer down. Okay, and you have about four members, band members, and a manager, a sound system guy, and you've got a makeup guy. You got about seven suspects. One of the suspects in the band would be only one, and that would have been a guy who takes lots of drugs, and when he takes drugs, he's, you know what I mean? So let's talk about the pros and the cons. The pros. There's this the kills. There are a lot of kills. There are about 6 to 8 kills, I believe, um, and they're kind of spread out evenly throughout the movie during the concerts. They have about 3 concerts, so you do have 3 kill occasions. There's this one kill that's here.
Next.
That's
No,
like,
you're next.
I like it because it says next, you're next. Throat slit. I like that scene because that same lady had sex with another band member is during the after party, eh, and she doesn't even know is seen. She doesn't even know which one of the band members she's having sex with, as long as it's with one of the band members. And he doesn't talk, but after they had sex, he says, the next guy who comes in, just say next. And I think they wanted to have the makeup guy come in because the makeup guy is kind of I think he's a virgin, and he sees the lifestyle of these guys, and he wants it was supposed to be him, but instead of him, or it is him. Um, you don't know because he's also very religious. So it's You don't know, okay? But they're kind of hammering on him, the movie, that he is gonna be the killer. So, and that seems a little bit, but I like that scene. There's another scene where, what can I do for you? She says, die. For the guys who like nudity, there's a lot of nudity in there, a lot of boobs. Uh, Boobs from the groupies. Um, I don't need that, but that can be perceived as a pro, right? Um, some of the acting is okay, like the lieutenant. When the killer reveals himself, starts talking, and why the killer wants to kill people, the killer comes over as a psycho, but there's also a con attached to it. Uh, but I can't say why, because then you probably know who is the killer. Yeah. The acting of the killer is good, but the reason that's and that's about it from pros. The cons are, like I said, the killer's mo, why he's doing it. At he's, I mean, the killer shouldn't be in that environment where you got rock and roll and sex and drugs. Okay, so it's not logical that the killer is there because he hates what's happening there. Um, the scenes between there's all the kills usually they're kind of dark and you can't really make out what is happening. Now between the rock the between the concerts you have them without the makeup at their house, and these dialogues, these personal moments don't really add up. They're boring. There's no really anything that serves a purpose there. There's this between, I believe, between the makeup guy and the sound guy, one of the sound guys. There's and he needs $50, and the sound guy lends him $50, but then every time when we go back to a personal moment between those two, the other guy's asking for his $50 back, and the other guy is saying, I can't give you the $50, I just don't have it yet. So a stupid, you know what I mean, those irrelevant things that are happening. The only moment that you think, okay, one of the band members has a conscience. He thinks it's sick what they're doing with those dolls, and that's the reason also why he thinks that somebody of their group is killing somebody in their makeup, and he does not want money and fame if that's the case. So I kind of like that, but all the rest, they're not interesting. You don't give a fuck about them. You know what I mean? The ending, like I said, the mo of the is stupid. The reasoning why is stupid, and also how it ends is kind of like that. And yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give the movie a 4. It's a 4. Um, if you're like me, a slasher fan aficionado, uh, um, I do want to see as much of the slasher movies of the golden era, or at least even the ones of the 70s, pre Halloween. there are lots of pre-Halloween slashers, and the 80s and the 90s. Sometimes I'll do a 2000s in there, but mostly 80s. And if you like slasher movies and you're like me, then yeah, maybe give it. It's free on YouTube. I believe it's not censored because you do see a lot of titties. Give it a watch. And the weird thing is, it's kind of boring. Although the kills are sprinkled about it's not like a movie like a movie like Final Exam. I love Final Exam. I love the cheesiness of the characters arcs, and but the movie like Final Exam has two kills in the beginning, and then it takes an hour for the killings to start. This one, the killings are sprinkled about, but even then, it's kind of boring. Like I said, the in between moments and the moments of the after party, it's all over the place. It's dark. Now, of course, the copy I saw was on YouTube, and I think it's a VHS quality because you see that, that little light smoke thing in a corner. So maybe on if it came out on Blu-ray, I'm not sure. 4K that has a better quality, but that, but again, it's free on YouTube. So give it a watch, like, subscribe, comment. It's all free. It's all good, man. See you later. Bye bye.